Well, the cost of living in Australia is rising rapidly, and experts are predicting it to rise even further for the second half of this year. So, to get some practical advice, I'm joined by Patricia Howard, financial planner and author. Patricia, thank you very much for joining us. Yes, the ongoing interest rate rises, rental increases, food, petrol, you name it, on the rise. What do we need to do practically?
Well, I think we need to prepare for a long haul here. News on the interest rate front is very bad, unfortunately. We have a situation during the week where they've increased interest rates in the UK. The head of the US Federal Reserve has also come out saying he expects further interest rates increases there. And the thing to keep in mind that if Australia doesn't match these increases, there will be downward pressure on the Australian dollar, which will mean that imports are more expensive, which in itself will worsen the inflationary pressures here domestically. So I think the first step is to understand that this isn't going to resolve itself quickly and that people need to prepare for that.
So, how do we prepare, Patricia?
Well, the first step is not to panic. So often people just get caught up in the here and now rather than really sitting down and looking at their financial situation and seeing what needs to be done. So that's the very first step. Um, don't think things are worse than they are, but also don't put off facing reality. So the very first step is sit down, look at your finances, look at the money that's coming in and what the bills are that you need to pay. Importantly, in times like this, it's really important to be proactive, to keep on top of those bills. Um, don't let them slide, otherwise, you'll get hammered with late payment bills or worse, credit card charges if you're paying online. So be proactive in terms of what the issues are that you're facing and the bills that you're facing. If the situation is dire, and it will be for a lot of households around Australia with these most recent interest rate increases, reach out to your financier, reach out to your bank proactively, and they will have good strategies that you can embrace to perhaps see you through these tough times. But always keep in mind that once you do reach those sort of agreements with your bank, typically it will mean that the loan overall is more expensive. So it is a last resort, but it is an option that's there for many Australian families.
Yeah, you mentioned that because, as we know, there's a bunch of people that are going to be coming off fixed home loans. Is it advisable to look at a mixture of variable and fixed, or, as you said, extend loans?
It's really a conversation to have with your financier and ask them to map out what the options are for you. Um, some financiers, it's a very fluid situation at the moment. Interest rates are moving. Um, Fixed rates are a strange beast. Sometimes they're high, sometimes they're lower than variable rates. So you really need to sit down with your financier and work out what strategies they're prepared to put forward to help you get through these times. And be honest with them, be honest with yourself, and put together a strategy that you know that you can embrace and work through and get through to the end of these tough times.
So, Patricia, with your expertise, how long do you estimate these tough times to be?
Well, sadly, at the beginning of this year, I think most economists felt that it would be relatively short lived, that the Reserve Bank would go in hard with interest rate rises as they have, and that we would see a sudden downturn in the rate of inflation. Sadly, though, the sentiment amongst many economists now is that the Reserve Bank won't get inflation down to its target range of between 2 and 3% until 2026, which is a long time away. So while we were expecting interest rates to go up and maybe to see some decreases before the end of this year. I think the feeling now is that that's not going to happen until next year. And that just makes it more important for people to be proactive in terms of managing their finances and making sure that they can get through this.
And finally, Patricia, tax time. Do you have any advice for us?
Well, just be again proactive. Get in there as soon as you can. Speak to your tax agent. Hopefully, you'll be looking at a refund and being able to do sensible things with that refund, putting it towards your mortgage, paying down some bills, getting ahead of those credit card debts. They're the things to be focused on this year. And as the Reserve Bank chief himself said, maybe looking at finding extra work, getting more income coming in just to help you get through these tough times.
All right, Patricia Howard, financial planner and advisor, I should say, and author, thank you very much for your time.